welcome to another installment of Metalhead Central, the show where I take an honest look at the harder side of music and give it an honest rating. You know, I wonder if this is what all of the other reviewers on YouTube think about when the first time that they post a review that of something that people may enjoy, and they don't like it, and it gets flamed to death. I feel like a member of a very exclusive club now, thank you! It's a big week of firsts here at Metalhead Central, because not only did we have that whole flaming review with the Possessed thing last week, but for the first time, we are diving down the rabbit hole of industrial metal. Yay! Yeah, this always makes me nervous. We're going to be looking at an album that's weird in every sense of the word. Some other terms that can be used to describe it are as follows: wonky, skronky, odd, dubious, and fascinatingly obsessed with its own insanity. Yep, it's Rammstein, one of the weirdest bands in the world, and their new self-titled album. It was released May 17th on Universal Records. Oddly enough, at least according to Rammstein's website, the band released the album without a title. Officially, they released it as an untitled album, but for the purposes of this video, we're just going to call it their eponymous release. First of all, and I know I'm stressing this to dead horse levels, this album is odd. It is so strange. It's one of the weirdest albums I've ever heard. It is so simple in its musicality that it shouldn't work. It just shouldn't. This should be one of the worst albums of the year. It should be a pile of industrialized metallic auto parts that just don't fit together. But for some strange reason, it kinda does work. In an odd way. It works on a number of levels, but there's a negative side as well. I'll get to that in a minute. First, the positives. This album is full of songs that are incredibly easy and simple. That's it. That's their bread and butter. These are going to be very easy for people to sing along to. Rammstein is one of those bands that write songs where the 50 or so thousand people they perform to in front of festivals can all cheer and sing with at the top of their lungs. The album is full of catchy riffs and rather nice rhythms that play well into the song's positive attributes. But it would just be another run-of-the-mill, sort of alternative/industrial metal album if it weren't for the synthesizers and keyboards. Those add a layer of atmosphere to each track that wouldn't be present otherwise, and it's really nice. I'm also a fan of the vocals on this album. They aren't exactly sung, screamed, or anything else. It's almost like listening to German spoken word with crunchy guitars and a hard-line drum beat backing it up. I've never really pegged Till Lindemann as the greatest singer in the world, and this album confirms my suspicions, but as far as German metallic slam poetry is concerned, dude can rip, man. Dude can rip. But now, the downside. This album might be a little too obsessed with its own insanity, especially when it comes to the lyrical content. And like I said, I pay attention to the lyrics when I review an album. Translated into English, there's a lot of incredibly twisted stuff on here. I mean, you got a song about a dude who wants to have as many women as possible simply because he's a foreigner. And I guess in the song's context, foreign men are more interesting to German women. I guess that's what they're going for on this song. There's also a song on here about picking a girl up off the street, buying her mussels and french fries, and then creepily watching her dance and sing. I guess that's par for the course for Rammstein, but it was just, And I like Cannibal Corpse music. It's not over the top. He sounds completely serious when he's talking about it. That's what makes it so creepy. When you have bands like Cannibal Corpse or Obituary or bands like that, they sing about gore and stuff in this really over-the-top thing with this, the appropriate music and the appropriate atmosphere, and you know that these guys are never going to do it. They just do it for the shock value. With Rammstein, it's different. It feels like these guys actually mean it. It's really unnerving. Another criticism I have has to do with the drum and guitar work. It's incredibly simple, and that's okay, but it might be too simple for its own good. I appreciate the band incorporating a lot of melody into their tracks. Believe me, I do. But I wish that we could get riffs and drum beats that don't sound like they were ripped off Top 40 radio. They kind of do. I was also disappointed with the only acoustic song on the album, Diamant, and I probably butchered that because that's German and I don't know how to say it. I found it to be out of place, and it felt like it just didn't have a lot of thought put into it. Just let's sit down and play an acoustic track because we need an acoustic track for the album. Okay, here's some lyrics about a diamond. Okay, let's sit down and let's do this thing. It's just, it felt like that was the height of thought put into that track. All in all, Rammstein released a fairly solid album here. If they could clean up their lyricism and make their music just a little more complex, then they might have a winner in the future. Is it terrible? Absolutely not. Is it worth buying? Nah, I don't know. It's just kind of solid. I'm giving Rammstein's self-titled album, or untitled as the band says, an 85 out of 100 on the YPS scale. Thank you so much for watching. Click like and subscribe for more Metalhead Central content. Next week, we're going to be venturing into symphonic death metal territory and taking a look at Flesh God Apocalypse's new album, Veleno. I am going to be using my Italian accent a little bit on next week's show. Oh, this is going to be fun. I really enjoyed a lot of the stuff off their last album, King. I love the fact that they incorporate the symphony with the more traditional death metal elements. We'll see what they bring on this album. First couple of songs have been pretty good. You've been watching Metalhead Central, where I give honest ratings to honest music. I'll see y'all next time.